Hello and welcome, I'm Kayla and this is the first video of this channel! Woo! Today we are going to be updating and restuffing all of my freshly made prop money, and I will show you the budgeting spreadsheet I use to explain how and why I'm using the cash envelope system without using any real cash. But before we get into that, what is your drink of choice today? Today I have got some coffee with just a little bit of sugar and soy milk. I also have this beautiful batch of flowers for this month. Tell me, are you a fresh flowers kind of person, or do you prefer fake or no flowers at all? I never was until recently when I bought some on a whim and realized they did a really good job at masking cat odor without giving me like a headache like some of the air fresheners do. But I'm not the biggest fan of how these ones smell. I don't know if it's the baby's breath or the chrysanthemum. I don't know. Next month, I think I'm gonna go for something different, even though I really like the look of these. I originally planned for the first video of this channel to show you all me making the money, but that footage has been lost in the void because clearly I am a 92-year-old woman who doesn't understand how basic technology works. Oh well, let's get on with the video. So this is the binder I use. I got it at Michael's probably 5 years ago, and I highly doubt they still sell it. It was sold as a reusable planner / journal thing, but now it's doing double duty, housing the 2D props I use for work and my cash envelopes. Later this year when I move, I will have the space to be able to separate them into different binders. Alright, so let's take these little friends out of their envelopes and see what we're working with. Alright, first up we've got my emergency fund. It used to be a bit higher, but I had some financial difficulties recently and had to dip into it. For the backing paper, it's just some lined note paper, like task paper. I could use it as a log to record everything I put in and take out, but whatever. Next up is taxes. Please don't look at my shame. This is not cute. Gifts, donations, nothing. Then we have Bronze, who is my sweetest little cat. And last we have Miscellaneous. I'm not really sure why I have Miscellaneous in here because I pay all that with my credit card. I'm using cash envelopes more for basic savings than anything else, just sinking funds. So all of this prop money I just made with some old sheets of a notebook that I was planning to throw away. It's Kiki's Delivery Service, if you hadn't noticed, a Studio Ghibli film. And it's my favorite notebook, but I really don't use physical notebooks anymore. The rest of these are Pokemon origami paper that I folded to be roughly dollar bill size. So I actually don't have American money with me because I live in Japan and Japanese currency is a little bit different shape than American money, so I just had to look online for some American dollar measurements. I really hope these are the right size. We'll find out when I get back to the US later this year. Alright, so the goal amount I would like to have in stock is $5,000 placeholders, 10 $500 placeholders, 20 $100 placeholders, 10 $50 placeholders, 10 20s, 5 10s, and 5 5s. I will not be dealing with ones because that's a pain. Now, in case there's any confusion, the reason that I don't use cash is all of my paychecks are in US dollars and I pay nearly all of my bills through my credit card. Some might say that I could just take out the cash to pay for groceries or miscellaneous spending, but my credit card charges me $20 per international ATM withdrawal, My debit card also gives me a pretty hefty fee, so I only withdraw cash like from my American accounts for emergencies. I use a spreadsheet to keep track of my dollar spending and savings, but since I am a highly kinesthetic person, it's easier for me to actually understand my progress and feel motivated if I have something physical to count and hold. So that's what was so appealing to me about this cash envelope system. And I'm really curious to see if it's gonna work out for me in the US. Who knows? In the US, I might actually continue to use just placeholders only because I can't guarantee I'll remember to go to the bank and withdraw money or go to I would have to go to the bank to withdraw money because I would need specific amounts of each dollar. I can't just go to an ATM and take just a bunch of 20s. Yeah, I really don't think I'll remember to go very often. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. I do have some yen savings from my old job, but it is a finite amount and I need it readily available to... I do have some yen savings from my old job, but it is a finite amount and I need readily available cash to pay my health insurance and electric bills. Since in Japan, there are some different methods of paying, such as you have to go to the convenience store and pay your bills. And it was a very big shock for me when I came here, let me just say. But to pay at a convenience store, it's cash only. I barely grasp why we can't use credit cards. I just think a lot of it is because Japan is a cash-based society and they're just a little bit hesitant to actually fully flip over to credit cards like other areas of the world. Now, because we will be moving back to the US in early November, I'm encouraging myself to spend a little more freely on enjoying my last few months here. And I would tour around the area a little more, but I'm lazy. I'm lazy as heck. I live up in Sapporo, and if you know anything about Japanese geography, Sapporo is at the very tippy top of the country. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful all year round. I highly recommend visiting here. But it's very rural. Like, Sapporo is a big city. It's 2 million people. It's a big enough city. But everywhere that's worth going outside of the city is kind of... It takes a while to get there. It takes about 4 hours for me to get to some of the more really interesting places. 3 hours at least to most of the places. So I kind of only have a couple options for day trips here. Food is great. I'm planning to spend most of my money on just food and eating out. Because if you ask anyone here in Japan, Sapporo is one of the best places to go for great food. And I highly agree. I'm surprised I have not gained 100 pounds from moving here. The food is so good. But it's expensive, so that's probably why I haven't gained 100 pounds. Alright, and that should be it. Time to transfer everything over to my spreadsheet, add in my paycheck for this past week, and divvy it up between sinking funds. And here we are. Welcome to my organized chaos. It is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll take you through the list. Alright, so here we are. I've got my emergency fund. The goal is to get $3,000. I was so close. I was over halfway there, and then life got in the way, and I lost almost all of it. Next up, we've got Bronze's emergency fund. The goal for that one is to have at least $1,000 saved up. Next up, we have a new to me phone. Rent fees. What does that mean? It means that I am leaving shortly after my lease ends, and I didn't realize that I have to pay 2 months rent. Day trips. Next thing is day trips. I had originally planned that $60 should be fine. Okay, next up is hobbies. Miscellaneous. I also did a bunch of miscellaneous spending recently. And next up is gifts and donations. And finally, taxes. Don't look at my shame. I know it should be higher than this. And then next up, we've got my total for, actual total of what I have saved, and then the goal total of what I have saved. The next part, I have a down payment I'm saving up for. I'm hoping to buy a house in the next 1 to 2 years. Why? Because apartments make me sad. I like home reno and DIYs too much. And I want to make a cat house. I'm going to make a house for my cat, and she is going to be spoiled rotten. Next up, retirement. Since I'm an independent contractor, I have to figure out my retirement fund all by myself. So down payment and retirement in 2 separate investment accounts. Alright, so this week I got $102 from my side job. Okay, so these $230 was actually a surprise miscalculation I had made. I had an extra, $460 that I was able to put towards my emergency fund and Bronze's emergency fund. Let's see, for $102, let's pull up the calculator and figure this out. Let's put $40 in my gifts and donations. So let's see, 102 minus 40. Okay, got 62 left. Let's put 10 under day trips. Get that up. 52 left. Never mind, let's do 10 in hobbies. 20 into my rent fees. And then a glorious $2 in taxes. Wow. Well, look at that though. I mean, I got it rounded up to 255. Alright, and then just blank out the new phone section. Alright, and we are done here. Let's start stuffing these envelopes. Open it up, get past all of these props for my kids' class, and then let's take out these little envelopes. Starting off, we've got my miscellaneous folder. Got my money ready to go. $5 in here. And next up is Bronzy. She gets $360. My little kitty's rich. Then we've got gifts and donations. I'll give it a nice Pokemon 20. I love these little things. I can't wait to put actual vinyl stickers on once I get back to the US. Then we've got taxes. My miserable taxes. Let's give it $255. Even though it's not much, it still feels good to know I have something saved up for my taxes. Then we've got my emergency fund. This one's exciting because it gets a total of $1,140 in this one. And I get to bust out one of my beautiful little $1,000 placeholders. Alright, and that should do it. That's all of them. guys back in the little folder, binder, or whatever the heck you want to call it. I really do like this size. I have no idea if my envelopes are going to be the right size or not, because I don't know, I just made them to fit what made sense in my brain. I didn't do any actual measurements of what envelopes should be sized at. And we are done! Woo! That's a wrap with this one. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming along this momentous occasion. I hope you have a great day, a great weekend, a great rest of your week, whatever time it is for you. And I'll see you next time. Bye!